Today's video, we're sort of going to be entering the week and sort of thinking about how we can right our wrongs, really, and in terms of how we can right them, beginning with the letter R, and how we can right them as in writing them down, how we can sort of write them and speak them into existence of how we're going to change. The first point we're going to sort of go into is all the reasons why we need to sort of take more responsibility for what we've done wrong, how we can go back over our mistakes, and how we can sort of look into the future of ourselves as a person. So the first point would be personal accountability, owning our mistakes without any excuses. We can't be blaming these external factors when the growth starts, when we fully accept full responsibility of our own life. We need to make sure that we separate intent from our impact that we sort of leaving. Even when we don't mean any harm to people, we need to acknowledge that sometimes we might make a mistake and we might affect others. We can also learn from the patterns and we can break the cycle. So you'll catch yourself doing something every day and you'll be like, I did that. Like today, I got up and I was going to get up at 7 and I tried really hard to get up at 7 and I just fell asleep till 9. But then I got up at 9 and I went, you've got to make up them hours. You've got to make up them hours. You've got to learn from these patterns that you keep falling into. And this week, I'm going to try and get up. I tried today, I'm going to try it every day to get up at least 8 a.m. Just get more hours of my day. We need to break the cycle. So that's what I'm going to try and do. As well, if we're in a situation with a group of people, apologising can be easy. However, what people really want to see is how you behave next. You apologise, yeah, you've done that. But how are you going to make a significant impact in their life next time, if there is a next time? The next point would be forgiveness. A personal decision to release resentment in yourself. This is forgiving yourself. However, you can forgive yourself, but it can't be a free pass to do wrong again. You can't keep sort of falling back on it and going, yeah, I forgave them, or I accepted their apology. Then you can't accept I'll do it again, or nothing's going to sort of improve. Obviously, I said before as well, self-forgiveness. This is one of the quotes, the best quotes I've ever seen. Having guilt is the lesson, but it's not the answer. You can feel guilty in yourself as part of self-forgiveness. However, forgiving yourself is the answer, not guilt. You can't cling on to these things. You just have to. You know you better than anyone else, so you forgive yourself, and then you move on. You don't make the same mistake. If you're in a situation with people where you've caused some issues, some people won't forgive you, and you've got to sort of make peace with this and go, do you know what? I understand it. I might have crossed the line here, and some people like me, they don't want issues. They don't want arguments. So sometimes you just don't forgive because just like, I'm not going to benefit anyway in being associated with you, and that's fine. People come and go through your life. That's just what happens. But people ain't going to forgive you all the time, and you just sort of make the peace. Because closure, this is like a relationship as well. Closure, you might feel you've got it or you haven't got it, but closure is not mutual. Closure to you is not different to your partner or your friend. We're all sort of looking for different things in closure, and it's just all like independent, what we're all thinking ourselves. When you've forgiven someone as well, what I will always say though as well is, you've got to set a boundary. You've got to set a boundary. You can forgive these people, but sometimes you have to reconnect. You don't have to reconnect because it's going to bring up the same topic. You're going to end up falling into an argument. You're going to break down your emotional stability, and you're not growing. You're sort of stagnating. You're in this rut where you're like, I can't get this thing off my mind. And every single time I go back to it, because I didn't disconnect from this person, I keep going back to it. On the other side of this, we've disconnected. How can we self-reinvent ourselves? How can we reinvent ourselves in terms of, we've made a mistake, but how can we fuel our growth? Because mistakes are the fuel for growth. No one's going to grow and know what's the right thing to do unless you've done the wrong thing. 3 points that I'm going to enter in 2025 with this year in terms of how I'm going to invent myself is, I'm going to change my mindset in terms of, I am going to see if I've done a mistake and go, that's all right. I needed to make that mistake to learn how to do the right thing. I need to stay consistent in my growth. So this could be an activity. This could be all sorts of things in life, like cleaning. This could be getting up. I'm not going to improve in my well-being or emotional stability if I'm not staying consistent with it. If I'm not going gym, at the moment I'm going 4 sessions in and then 1 day off for my rest day and then 4 sessions back on again. So I'm doing about 6 sessions a week. But I feel like I'm improving. I feel like I'm growing. I feel like my muscles are sculpting into my body more. I'm losing the weight. We have to keep going. We have to get up early because we have to rest our muscles. We have to have 3 meals a day. We have to give ourselves a period where we're going to wake up, eat 3 times a day. We're going to clean. We're going to wash up. We're going to sell some clothes on Vinted, which I started doing. We're going to work. But we have to stay consistent in all these things in our routine so that we can keep growing. And like I said the other day about perspectives, if we keep reinventing ourselves, the perspective of people towards us will change for the good. People are going to see that we are making a positive change to our own self, and hopefully they'll see that if we're going well, us associating with them will be a good thing, and they'll want to see more. Obviously, if you've been consistent with your growth, you're going to have more time to go out with these people, and then you'll have more fun. If you stay consistent in the hard bits, the growing, you'll have more fun, which is what life's all about. And the last point would be, like I said, with how we're going to reinvent ourselves and our perspective will change, we can't leave a permanent print of our past. If we're growing, we're not staying the same. So we want to shift everything from good to bad. We make the mistakes in-house, and then when we're growing, show that off. We don't want people to keep seeing you as someone that did wrong. When I was writing this down the other night, I was thinking of sort of a journal exercise of what are my wrongs and why I did wrong and how I can make it right. So I did a small list of sort of my wrongs, and I got sometimes I'm entitled. I think we all are. We sort of feel like we should be better off than we are, but sometimes it's just not possible. Managing my current finances, at this age, it's just so hard because the possibility of like having a large spend on a property or rent or uni debts, it's just so difficult. And then trying to balance it all with just like living and just creating a work-life balance is so hard. Another one would be that I've not made worth of my time really since I've been home. I've been home for 3 months now, and I did more than travelling in 2. And obviously, I was travelling, blah blah blah. I had the finances in, but what I have done this year, what I have done since I've been home compared to my holiday, is that I have kept a routine. However, I've got to add stuff to this routine to make worth of my time, because I'm getting up and I'm doing the little jobs, and I'm not doing the main ones. I'm not doing what is asked of me the night before because I'm lazy sometimes. Another one would be that I'm potentially working off full time because I don't feel I'm ready sometimes. It's like, but I just need to take the hit. I need to try. And then the last one will be is that at my big age, I'm still not driving. I should be driving, but just I chose fun over convenience, and so much of this world is about convenience now. And I look back now and go, maybe I was taking the mick a bit, and I should definitely be driving on the roads now at 22 because I'm the only one. I've got to catch up. Reasons for these wrongs, I've already said a few, but would be lack of finances, bad sleep, having the fear of rejection and having the fear of failure. Them two they're the hardest two. They are the hardest two because you need to just sort of not let it get to you, but it does. And then the last one will be, this one will be especially for driving, is that you have to wait and relearn. I've had many lessons to drive. I've taken my theory before, but now that everything's like reset again, I've got to wait again in a massive line. Like, other people are in the same boat as me, but they're in the queue and I'm not in the queue yet, which is, it's a problem. I need to be in the queue. So I'm not in the queue, I can't go on the ride. It's like a roller coaster. That's what I've got to do. How am I going to make it right? Every day I'm going to try and get up at 8 a.m. I failed today, but tomorrow I'm going to do it again. I'm going to try. I set it for 7, then I have time to just sort myself out. If I want to scroll, I've got half an hour, I've got an hour. 8 a.m, bed at midnight. I want to be in bed by 10 really, with gadgets off by 11 and do a bit of writing from 10:30 to 11, half 11, and then just go to bed. I need to apply it for jobs because I actually quite enjoy working. I enjoy the social side. I enjoy the challenge, and I should enjoy it. I've got to be more patient with myself because I know I can do it. I can do anything, but just sometimes I get stressed out and I instead of like trying it, I don't even do it. I just put it off completely because I'm not patient with when stuff gets hard. And then one thing that I said before, you've got to stay consistent with the healthy habits. Like at the moment, gym, I'm going 6 times a week. I'm loving it. I think journaling your progress like this, which I've started doing over the last month, it allows you to not only reflect on yourself and thoughts that come up in your head, but it also allows you to go from writing down your wrongs to rewriting your story.